The Conjuring House has come under fire recently, especially as the owner of the Conjuring House put up a very controversial post to Facebook. Jason Hawes has been covering the Conjuring drama, and he had all of the ex-employees on his YouTube channel to do a live stream and talk about their experiences and why they left. And it gets saucy, so we're going to take a look at it today to see if it is simply strange. So like I said, this is on Jason Hawes' YouTube channel, and it is Conjuring drama. What is really going on? Now, this whole live stream is over 2 hours long. I'm not going to be diving into the whole thing. I will leave a link to the entire video down in the description, so if you want to check it all out for yourself, you are more than welcome to. But let's get into it. Let's get into it. There we go.
All right. Well, guys, we were going to do an intro and an opening, and screw that. It's kind of chaotic. I tried to put everybody back in the green room, but it didn't work. So, hello. Welcome, everybody. I know it's starting to air out there. Jim, it's showing up, right?
I'm here.
Okay. No, I just meant we're showing up online. So.
Yeah, I think so. I think it looks good. I think it's connected. I think everybody is visible. So I think so far so good, Jay.
All right, so hello everybody. You know me, Jason Hawes, my co-host, JV Johnson. Yes, I know the thing's all over the place. This is the craziest amount of people I think we've ever had, so we're trying to work with it. Before we get started, I want to just discuss a few things. All right, first off, I want this video to be respectful from at least our end and the end of the people around the show with us, because you know what, there's enough disrespect out there, and we've been seeing that lately. So. And I also do not want this video to reflect poorly on the employees of a certain location.
A certain location being the Conjuring House, which he's obviously titled in the title. So, you know, I don't know why he's pussyfooting around that, but I'll be very intrigued to see what Cody and Satori's reason for quote unquote leaving is. Like, you know, the speculation out there is that it was a jump before you get pushed kind of situation with those two because of the, you know, the drama that they brought towards the end of last year and the start of this year. So let's see.
It's about the owner and the owner's business practices, the work environment, and why these people that we're talking to left. And I think that's important. Now, I say certain location because I have to be honest. I know that for a certainty that that individual is watching this video and threatening lawsuits and threatening to sue people. And I know this for a fact because I've seen the messages.
Wow. Anyone that speaks bad of the Conjuring House is getting sued. What for? On what grounds? Like, I'm so intrigued because, you know, obviously people are just talking about it from a very, you know, pragmatic point of view. The place is overcharged. It's become an attraction, and the reason for it being this hub of the paranormal was because of the, you know, the movie franchise embraced that. Instead, it's an overcharged attraction, so people are upset about it.
They're just horrible. I mean, there's no reason anybody should be like this. The problem out there is that those with money who have just horrible business practice or whatever tend to threaten the little people out there, by threaten them with lawsuits for telling the truth, or at least defending themselves or telling their sides. And that's what's been going on here. And we'll get into that. And those people do that by telling them that they have lawyers on hand or lawyers ready at their disposal to sue them. To sue them for what? For admitting the truth?
Exactly.
to sue them for defending themselves over accusations that are 100% untrue, that there's messages to prove. I think what this person really doesn't understand is if they sue, or they attempt to sue, they're doing it to keep the truth hidden. And I think that's the most important.
That's it. I mean, people threaten this kind of stuff and like throw these accusations out there because, you know, people are sniffing along the right tracks. And obviously it's not a good look for business. And when there's not a good look for business, it's not a good look for your wallet either. So, you know, of course, if it's going to pinch the pennies, you're gonna try and shut down the accusations.
They don't realize that there's an army of people out there who are looking for the truth, and you need to accept that. Bottom line, these people are, and that army is more than willing to defend the little people from big people like yourself who think that you're above everybody else. And I mean, you got to think. Come on, use your head. Just putting out a GoFundMe page, there'd be an army of people out there donating to defend these people because they want the truth from people like you.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear it from you. They want to hear the truth about things. And I think that's important. So, with that, there was a post out there just recently that just came out 2 days ago.
I did make a video on this whole post and the entire situation. It's an absolute shambles. It's not a good look for the Conjuring house whatsoever. And, it's getting to a point where either management needs to change hands or business practices need to be less about the business, more about the legacy of the building that you own.
And Jim, you've got that. So
Yep.
I want to read this post. It's I'll try to do the best I can because it's going to be small on Jimmy's side. But let's see. Hang on here. We're going to try to show this image. Again, sorry guys, I'm not used to having this many people here.
Yeah, this is a complicated venture. I've got it. I've got the post here. I'm gonna.
All right, let's see if you can share that.
Just figure out how to share it.
If not, I will open up the page and do it.
Window. Oh, I have it. Now I got it. There we go. So if I
Trying to learn
share
this.
that, do you see that?
No, I don't. So I'm gonna let's see if I can get over there and do it. Yeah, I see you all laughing there. So stop you. I mean, it is what it is. So if you haven't seen the post, I'm gonna read it to you. So the Conjuring house had posted a post, and I'm gonna read this out loud for y'all.
Now I'm intrigued to see what their reaction to this post is.
It says, "Happy July, everybody," and I want to apologize ahead of time for any language that I end up dropping, but just understand it's not me. I'm just
It's
sharing
within-
what was said.
It's quoted.
So hello, happy July, everyone. I'm hearing about a lot of hateful rumbling from people who are not in the Conjuring house supportive moods by the sounds of it. As you know, TCH, the Conjuring house, is the most haunted location in the world. Sorry, something stuck in my throat on that one. Let's see. We'll go. So we attract hundreds of people from around the globe. I would have expected like thousands or a million, whatever. But we attract hundreds of people from around the globe per month to Burrillville, Rhode Island, to partake in one of our effing experiences. Very professional. I'm told that some members of the paranormal community and government officials keep attacking the Conjuring house.
I'm intrigued to still know what government officials are attacking the Conjuring house, because, again, who from the government are upset about this,
There are many wonderful paranormal investigators and honest government people who have consistently supported the paranormal field. Many members of the paranormal community have commended the expansion of experiences at TCH to broaden the interest in the paranormal activity that demonstrates the continuity of consciousness. As to others, whatever, we really do not care. As to others, whatever. We really do not care about people who abuse and attack people. We consider them evil and wicked people. In fact, we never want any person with these personality afflictions to visit us at TCH, which I think that person owns TCH, but we'll get into that. So if you are among the wicked mood personality challenged, then stay away. Pretty much saying she should stay away from her own place. So we now have the...
This is getting very personal up in here, Jason Hawes. You were the one that were preaching, being kind in the chat, but damn, you're getting personal.
Kindest, hardworking people with positive outlooks on our staff. Our all-new staff, with just a couple of previous staff, consists of... I'm not even going to get into the list, but I'll share this in a minute, guys. There are always growing pains when you start or take over a business. But I think that business has been on for a couple of years now, but hey, there's still some growing pains. I am not apologetic that I needed to turn over the first wave of TCH staff. Among the reasons for the dismissal of these people were cruel and hateful verbal abuse towards others, which is exactly what she just did, and suspecting that some staff were fraudulent in their investigation methods. I will never be defeated or destroyed, now or at any time in the effing future.
I will never be defeated or destroyed. That's fighting talk, that is. That's someone who's, exercising their chimp, let's say. If you ever read The Chimp Paradox, you'll understand what I mean by that.
So, effing be it. I appreciate the Township of Burrville for their support and guidance. I have helped TCH to grow its business and attract tourists from around.
Cody's shaking his head up here. I wonder what he knows. When she mentioned Burrville, I wonder what he knows.
On the world since I bought the property and business in May of 2022, which we will get into why she owns this property. Trust me on that one. As always, we welcome any and all paranormal curious and or paranormal enthusiasts and seasoned paranormal investigators to our location. We continue to be thrilled with the people visiting us from around the globe. Every day we meet people who have traveled far and wide with anticipation to have an authentic paranormal experience. We look forward to hosting all of the good and morally upright people, because the world is filled with such people, much more than the hateful, wicked, and low-density people that should look in the mirror rather than rage at people, animals, communities, habitats surrounding them. This post is directed at specific people in the United States and elsewhere. So pretty much the globe, I would assume that means. But let's see, and elsewhere, who I am told are abusing and attacking people for no effing reason other than to terrify them from continuing their interest in the whole consciousness, paranormal activity, whatever BS. The state of Rhode Island has defended its businesses that have come under attack from wicked and evil forces to curtail their freedom of expression. I'm not going to get into the rest of this. Rhode Island was founded by Roger Williams and all this crap. But if you haven't seen the post, please, for the love of God, go and check it out. It's right on the Conjuring's Facebook page. It's a very, well, I mean, you'd expect a professional business to voice things rather differently.
I wonder if the post is still there. Let's have a little look over on Facebook to see if that post has been taken down because of the backlash. I'd be very surprised if it's still there, because if it were me and I saw the backlash that this post was receiving, I'd take it straight down. Let's have a little look. The Conjuring House. Wait, I don't think it is. Oh no, it is. That's a shame. Yeah, I really think that this should have been taken down, if I'm perfectly honest. And then the day after, they're just promoting bookings. Wow, that's really something. I'm surprised that hasn't been taken down. Like I say, if it were me as a professional business, I wouldn't let that kind of thing sit on my just so easy to find, because it would put off potential customers.
So, I mean, the whole thing is just disgusting to me. But with that being said, she claims that she fired a bunch of people, and we're going to get into all that, but she claimed she owns the property. There's no question on that, but we're going to get into why. And we're going to talk about a few different things. So,
okay. And
I just wanted to give all those people that she just attacked, without naming them, I don't know who the heck's calling now, but...
So we lost somebody, yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to give all those people who she pretty much put this out there to attack the ability to be able to voice things themselves and just tell the truth on what really happened. I think that's the most important.
Let's give it a go. Let's see.
What do you got, Jim?
Well, a couple things. First of all, I just want to... There's a lot of people in the chat room. The chats are moving very, very quickly. I'm trying to pay attention while Jay talks so we can respond to some of these things. And before we get too much further out, I want to thank Meg P for gifting 20 subscriptions or memberships in the page. I just want to recognize that before we go on.
And here's now, the thing. For those who don't know, just let me, 100% clarity. Satori is my daughter, and Cody is her fiance. So I just want full transparency. I've known Jen and Corey for a long time. Reed, I've never met you, so it's a pleasure. Aaron, never met you, so it's a pleasure. Steve's part of Taps group. So, all right, go on, Jen. Sorry.
Steve's behind my fat noggin, by the way. He's just here. If anything does happen, I'll rewind it and move my fat face out of the way. But right now, it's there to stay.
No, so I just, there's a couple things at play here. First of all, when anybody gets mistreated, people who have given their heart and soul to a place, a business, an operation, whatever it is, and I don't know everybody on our panel here, but I know some of you, and I know how much effort and time and love you put into this, the Conjuring House. I mean, it's in the title. I'm not going to pretend that's not what it is. So to see these turns of events is not only is it hard not to take it personally, but it's difficult not to get angry about it. And I know that as we talk about this today, we're going to be really careful about not getting too angry, but emotions are high. And you can tell from the post that Jason just read, there's something unhinged going on here. There's something a little wonky, which we have to tiptoe around a little bit, but at the same time, it's important that people know what's really going on here.
I agree.
We've got very good people on this panel that have been mistreated, and we need to talk about it a little bit. And the truth needs to be told, regardless of threats of crazy lawsuits or whatever the heck is going to happen down the road.
Wild.
But the truth needs to be told, and that's why, Jay, you said we need to do this tonight, and I'm glad to be here to be part of it.
We do, and yeah, of course.
Do you know what? Respect to Jason Hawes for kind of giving these people a platform as well, because obviously, as far as anyone who just reads the Conjuring House's post goes, or to their knowledge, these people were fired because of, misconduct, because they were vile and, horrible, speaking to each other and all the rest of it, and speaking to clients or whatever. But it's good to kind of get insight, because I'm sure the Conjuring House would not have prepared for this.
Of course, it bothers me because it affects my daughter and soon-to-be son-in-law, but it also affects other people that I've known for a long time. Corey, Jen, you and I talked years back, and actually at one point we were talking about me buying the Conjuring House from you all. And it's just, I didn't want to buy another property in Rhode Island and everything else, and I really wish I had. I should have at that point, let's be honest. But
it would have been in better hands had Jason Hawes bought it. Also, he would have made a shit ton of money from it.
I do want to get in. First off, I want to get into that. So, you guys sold the property to the new owner, and she who will not be named. How about that one? And, so did you guys have reservations about selling this property to her?
I suppose we'll probably talk about the elephant in the room, since I'm assured by people that it's already spreading around on the internet, so I do feel it's comfortable to talk about it.
Well, as long as you feel comfortable. I don't want to put you in a predicament where you guys, again, and that's the biggest problem with this talk, is every single one of you have been threatened with legal recourse or whatever, and
nothing can come of it, though. Like, let's be real. Yes, they've been threatened with this legal action. Nothing can come of it. Like, because what are they can't defame the place. Like, they're just talking about what actually happened. If they were making up lies, let's put it this way. These people come forward with the truth, right? I'm not going to say their truth, with the truth, as long as, it is the truth, right? If she goes, right, we're suing you, and it does go to court, she would have to prove that those claims were false and defamatory. Otherwise, if they're true, she's not got a leg to stand on, Like, it's happening right now with the whole Fiona Harvey versus Netflix case. It's completely up in the air whether what Netflix said is true or not. Fiona Harvey swears it isn't. Richard Gadd swears it is. And then they're at this toss-up where, so if this does go to court, these people should be safe as long as they tell the truth.
We have the messages. I mean, we can show those. It's ridiculous that you can't even discuss something without being threatened to be sued, and not even that you've done something wrong. The whole idea of them suing you is the fact that they think that they're going to hurt you financially, to the point where you didn't do anything wrong, but you're still going to be liable for financial costs to defend yourself, even though you were in the right. And that's the biggest problem. Somebody taking that situation, that'd be like me trying to sue, I don't know, some poor bastard living on the, just scraping by, because I know I can bury him financially. I can make him so he doesn't have anything. And I think that's the biggest thing here, is that you guys have had to deal with that issue just to start.
Yeah, I kind of think you just summed up how it started. You want to go ahead?
I mean, we kind of talked about it during our live stream just briefly, and everybody that knows us knows the story of why the person that owns it. Long story short, she felt entitled to it and put a lawsuit on us. She put a lien on the house and stopped us from looking at other people to purchase the house. She felt that an agreement that we signed, which was null and void in the state of Rhode Island, according to our lawyers, she felt that she was entitled to that house.
Wow.
Kind of what it came down to is I I told myself I'd remember what it was called.
Liz.
No. What we signed to begin with before we sat down for the purchase and sales agreement.
Yeah.
We broke that contract before we sat down with her for the purchase and sales agreement because our realtor had assured us that in the state of Rhode Island it's not against the law. So we backed out after, I mean, I don't know if we can, actually I know there's things that we can't get into, like financially. So there are reasons behind, there are multiple reasons, I should say, behind why we backed out to begin with. And I will take some personal guilt on that because I did feel backing out before we sat down to talk to her was bad on our part. But it was also not going to go the way she wanted when we sat down anyways. Her closing date that she needed to do was way too long. So long story short, we decided to not sign the purchase and sales agreement. She put a lien on the property in order to continue to go to court multiple times out of our pocket. It was either sit down and discuss it with her, and which we did. The realtor suggested, let's just talk this out. She really loves the property. She clearly is fighting for it. Maybe that just shows how much she loves it. And we sat down with her. I'll be honest, I loved her. I thought she was great. I thought she showed the love for the property as well. I thought she showed the initiative, that she was willing to fight for something that she really wanted, and this is a decision that we made. And
I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, if you're someone who's put a lot of love and effort into something, you want to see it continue to flourish and grow. So, of course, you know, like, you would hand it over to someone who's passionate and clearly wants to fight for something like this. So, that makes sense. That makes total sense. And I don't think for these people there was any reason for them not to sell it to her.
Yeah, looking back now, I can see how she strong-armed. I can see how she put us in a position where we felt like we had no other choice.
And then she put an illegal lien on the house.
Yeah.
And our lawyers said we could win the case. However, they said it's going to be dragged out for at least 5 years. It could be drug out for, it could be. And honestly, like, I was just in the mental state that I couldn't do more time there. I honestly couldn't. And, you know, I've talked about it and stuff. And
I did love her in the beginning. Like, I thought she was great. I thought she was really good for the property.
Well, and I agree with you on that because I actually have done a lot of things there at that property, no charge, whatever, just showing up to help out. I mean, we're talking, I know there were some texts back and forth at one point about, and you couldn't get any responses, about the basement flooding. Well, Satori had reached out to me at one point, and I showed up there and reran the sump pump, fixed everything, got things going, and left. I mean, there were another time that a trailer was stuck in the way, and I went and destroyed my truck moving this trailer throughout there. I think you remember all that, Tori. And because, you know, you're like, oh, she's a good person, she's really trying to get ahead and so forth. Because none of us knew the behind the scenes working or things that were going on or things that were being said. I didn't know half the things that were being said to my daughter until just a couple months ago. And just why they were ready to leave and why you all were ready to leave. I mean, and that's another thing. You guys sat there, you guys all wrote your resignation. Now, in this post that they posted, she, I don't know who I lost here. All right, Steve. Sorry. In this post that she posted, one of the things she said was that she fired everybody.
Yeah, that was obviously one of the biggest talking points because, you know, she talks about her massive wave turnover for the first wave of staff, because of basically misconduct.
Now, and that was July 10th. That was 2 days ago. Now, the problem with that is back in February, March, April, I believe it was April, you all turned in your resignation letter. So, and I'm going to show that. I'll put that up here for everybody, just so we know. And Tori, if you want to read it, do it up.
Okay. So the date is April 26th at 9:44 p.m. We say hello. Now, this email was sent to multiple people. It was brought to the owner or previous employer's attention, as well as somebody else directly associated with them, to make sure it was received. So we said, hello, hope you're doing well. I know the situation must be extremely tough, and I'm really sorry we're meeting this way. I spoke to Jacqueline yesterday in regards to the business. We know that Jacqueline often does not remember conversations, so I wanted this, Hold on one second. So I wanted this in writing in case that happens. The following staff members gave their resignation yesterday to Jacqueline through me, since she has my number, and that will take effect Friday, May 3rd at 11 a.m. And then all of our names are listed. After 11 a.m. on Friday, May 3rd, we will no longer be working at the Conjuring house. I explained to her that she has no coverage for the house, email, and admin. From that point on, we have done our absolute best to manage this for her the past 6 months and to keep this away from the public. We have only been met with anger and accusations about the situation in December and January from Jacqueline and the time leading up to her current blank. She has said some pretty horrific things about members of staff that were untrue, unnecessary, extremely hurtful, and we told her in February that if she put us in this position again, we would have no choice but to leave. Every single staff member has gone above and beyond to try and help her in the business. We've done all this out of love and care and concern for her, the house, and the spirits, but we can no longer watch this happen as it has affected all of us deeply. The devastation that the staff feels for this entire situation can't be described in words. We are legally uncomfortable to handle cancellations, rebookings, or refunds due to current situation. I asked Jacqueline yesterday to shut down the house for the purpose of blank, getting the business back on track.
I wonder what the blank is. Like, I think that's actually a clever idea. You know, shut the business down for like a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever it takes, just to get your admin sorted, get your shit together, and then come back fresh, right? But that's never going to happen, because obviously, cha-ching, baby, missing out on them Wonga.
We decline that option. We strongly urge Jacqueline to reconsider shutting down the house before visitors show up to an empty house and the rumor mill begins. We want her to be out blank before the house opens back up again. We cannot be held responsible for what the house happens with the business or the house after May 3rd. We're so sorry that it's come to this, but we have no other choice. She has no caretaker coverage for the month of May. Another person will be there to handle tours on May 3rd, but no one will be at the house for overnight starting May 3rd. No coverage for tours after May 4th. No one should be at the house after 11. So should no one be at the house after 11 a.m. on May 3rd to check people in and run the events, we cannot be held responsible for the fallout from that situation.
Fair.
From angry guests. We have been through that before when she didn't show up on January 19th. Despite knowing she was on schedule, we were assured she would be there. That situation was devastating for the entire staff and reflected badly on staff when it was not our fault.
Wow.
Jacqueline asked me to give information here. And then this section here, we're so sorry it's come to this. It's not what any of us wanted, but in light of all that's transpired, we can no longer rely on Jacqueline to consistently manage the business in her current state. Staff cannot continue to work unpaid. We want nothing for her but to be happy. We feel she's not allowing that to happen for herself. We're aware we may not get paid for any of this, but I've chosen to remain at the house last month out of love for the house, the spirits, her animals, and each other. We wish the best for Jacqueline and hope that she gets help she needs and move on with her life in the way we all hope that she can.
Wow. So basically, staff weren't getting paid, and if they were getting paid late. She had no idea on how much was actually owed to staff. So clearly there's no one running the books, managing the accounts. Staff would be in... She was saying that she was going to be at events and then never turned up. And then it fell back onto staff. But our staff were basically doing roles that they shouldn't have been expected to do. Basically, Jacqueline's gone, I own the house, so you guys can deal with absolutely everything. I'll just take the proceeds. And I'll make sure that you get paid at the end of the month, but no one will get paid at the end of the month. That is piss poor management.
All right.
That is poor management.
Pretty self-explanatory on that one.
Yeah.
You know, I have no idea how to get us back to... Oh, there we go. Look at that. Oh, now I can start adding everybody again. So, if it works. Yep. So, guys, we're trying out this new software with a ton of people. So, hopefully you're a little understanding on that. So I think that the main thing here is, first off, you guys turned in your resignation, all of you, and you know what? I'm going to say it because I don't want to put you guys in a predicament. All right. So you guys turned in your resignation, and then text messages started coming in, and these text messages, I'm saying it, Jacqueline. So kiss my ass. These text messages started getting worse and worse. First off, they started off begging people to come back to work. Begging people. Telling them that you needed them.
Wow.
Then they started getting angry.
Wow.
Because these people did not come back, because they declined to come back, because they didn't want to work in that environment anymore. So then the messages went from angry to threatening.
This is just not how to manage a business. This is not how to manage people, right? Yes, you've got a business to run, but at the end of the day, these are people. She probably wanted to keep hold of Cody and Satori because of the gift that they allegedly have. You know, the jury's still out on that one. I know that people are kind of less inclined to believe them now than ever before, but regardless, they added something to their attraction. They were a sub-attraction to the main attraction, if you will. You know, and that does objectify them. But I think Jacqueline objectified them.
To the point where some of these messages then came in saying that you were going to say people were fake because
wow,
you felt that was your best way to attack them.
No! Talk about blackmail. Oh my god, it's like blackmail. It's like, if you don't come back, I'm going to tell everyone that you were fake. Oh my god! What a toxic human! I've never heard of anyone so toxic in my life. No wonder these people wanted out. Jacqueline, you're a horrible person.
So people didn't want to work for you because of situations that were going on, which we haven't got into. And believe me, we easily can. But then because they didn't want to stay in a toxic work environment where people were being screamed at, yelled at, threatened, you then attack them and then on top of that threaten again to now sue them and do this stuff and then claim they're fake. And it's just, I don't know how any of you, Corey, Jen, I love you guys dearly. I don't know how you put up with this. Story, Cody, I wish you guys had told me a long time ago, because I would have been involved a long time ago. Reed, I know you, Aaron, and it's just, the whole thing is insane to me.
It's about the house.
I'm not being funny though, right? Surely that would undo her own business though. If she turns around, Jacqueline turns around and says, I knowingly allowed, let's use Cody and Satori as an example, right? I'm not saying that they are fake, you know, the jury's still out on it, but let's just say, for example, Jacqueline turns around and is like, they've left, it's not worked, so I'm going to go through with my threat. And post all over Facebook, Cody and Satori are fake, they're fakers. I allowed them to fake in my property. That just undoes your business, because you have knowingly allowed them, if they are fake, at least you're making it look like they are, to fool your customers whilst they were in your property. So basically, you were part of the scam. So that's a double-edged sword, because if they turn around and they say you're fake, people will just turn around and say, well, you allowed it to happen. So will the experiences in the house not real? Is the house fake? Are you fake? She should have done it. She should have done it and then dealt with the fallout, because that would have been crazy.
Well, it is
That's why we stuck around. It's about the house and the community, the people that are coming in. It's not about lining her pockets or anything like that. It's about the people.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It is about the house and it is about the community. But there's messages from this very lady who pretty much says F the paranormal community and so forth.
She has just pissed off her income stream. Like, the paranormal community are the people that are going to this place. People who don't believe in ghosts or don't believe in the paranormal won't go to this house. They just won't. Like, it's the people that are truly intrigued in the paranormal and part of that community that want to go to this house and experience it for themselves. And you're saying, fuck you. Like, you're pissing off your income stream. You do not know how to run a business. Come on!
Which, you know, she's going to be a success. The house is it's going to be the best thing in the world, and even F the community if she needs to. So I've never seen the downfall of a property so fast by somebody with such a big freaking head. I mean, the whole thing is just
It's
insane.
an ego. It's an ego thing. It comes across that way. I've got to say, right, I'm throwing all of these things about. Obviously, I can't back any of this up. This is all alleged so far. I mean, you know, apparently there have been screenshots and text shown. But based off of this this panel and what they're saying, it clearly just does not look very good.
That we've seen throughout the paranormal community is this happens. People, for some reason, They get involved in a property, they buy the property, and then they start to have an ego issue, which just explodes. I mean, one thing that we know about the paranormal community is there's a lot of drama. And I don't know what it is about the paranormal that creates this, but this seems to be like, the most extreme, the most severe. But we've seen incrementally some of these other places do that too. And I don't know what it is, but it affects people. It affects people like all the faces you see here with us tonight. It affects the people that go to these properties to try to have an experience and enjoy the history of the location. And that's the real tragedy of it all. The good people involved get hurt by all this.
Well, and to back up your point, Jim, I think people go from thinking that the property is special to thinking that they're the reason people are coming.
Exactly.
And Grant and me, we bought an inn. We bought the Spalding Inn. We had, did the bar, we had a restaurant, we had the inn. And it was a place of enjoyment. I mean, I still talk to all the people who worked with me, who worked for us, because we were a big family. We all made this work like this. I mean, everybody busted their butts. With that, everybody busted. Sorry, Aaron, you somehow got booted. With the Spalding Inn, we loved the place. Everybody was treated perfect. I mean, of course, you have some issues with employees, this issue, that issue. But everybody was happy to be there. And we bought the place because it was said to be haunted. It was said to be one of the most haunted places up there. But it was a place of enjoyment. Everybody had a good time. And I just don't understand. And it was never about me. It was never about Grant. It was about the Spalding Inn. And that's all it was ever about. So I just don't understand why people just, their heads just explode. And it just so much. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, like, the Conjuring house is prime real estate. There was a movie about it. Everybody knows about the Conjuring house. Annabelle, the whole story around that thing. Ed and Lorraine Warren visited there. The history is bustling, right? Is it the most haunted location in the world? Absolutely not. Is it more of an attraction now than anything else? Absolutely. Well, I could go there and I can guarantee I probably would not have an experience. But the experience would probably be the enjoyment of going there. Having that experience. If something paranormal happens, bonus. But at the same time, people don't necessarily go to... They go to places because they want to have a paranormal encounter, but at the same time, it's the hospitality that you put on that makes the experience something else, It makes people want to come back to you. That's how you get recurring customers.
So, where's Erin? There she is. All right, you're back.
We keep bouncing around.
Yeah.
The internet doesn't like me today. It's okay.
You know what? If I had planned ahead of time, I could have set it up. Everybody placeholder, but I didn't plan for crap. It was just like, oh, well, all right, well, yeah, we'll do this. So.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Go ahead, Thor.
I was going to say, do you want to lead the way on which avenue we take from here? Do you want to discuss?
Yeah. So I have, all right. I mean, you guys, this is your story. I don't want to control it, but I do have text from you all. I have text from this past employer. I mean, the things she says in her text are just vicious. I don't even understand it. If I was anybody going to this place, I would sever all ties. I got to be honest with you.
Share the text. Share the text. Share the text.
So we have, let's see, there's been accusations of stealing, which are insane to me.
Oh my God.
Like, people are somehow accessing her account and taking stuff. Text towards you and Cody and Steve about the barn fire, where, she was going to take care of all this, but then you guys set this whole thing in motion to burn things down.
What? No!
Yeah. Where do you guys want to go with this? Because I want the world to see everything. So it's like, yeah, you tell me.
What the actual fuck? Like, she's upset because people have left because of her toxicity, and then she's blaming them for the barn fire, which happened back in, was it the end of last year? December time last year? People stealing. I'm gonna blame you for accuse you of being fake. Oh my God.
Do you want to show your resignation too?
Sure.
Just because Corey wasn't on that resignation letter, can we show his from?
Sure. Let me just.
It was well received. I know that.
Yeah, I'm sure everything you do is well received. Corey, I haven't known you a long time. Let's see. Which post is that? Let's see. Which folder was that one in?
I think it's labeled Corey's resignation, and it should be in order.
Jimmy, you got that one on you, or?
Let me look.
So.
If not, we can definitely talk about it later when we pull it up. I just figured that
It's a folder. It's a folder named Corey resignation.
I think it's Jen and well, yeah, it's I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to see it.
I don't have a folder named that. I have a resign letter.
Well, the resign letter was the main letter.
Maybe it's
Okay.
Sorry, guys. There was so much. Everybody watching this, there was so much coming in that it was just like.
It is labeled Corey's resignation.
All right, let me.
No big deal.
No, we'll see about pulling it up. So.
We can move on to something else while somebody's working on it, though. I have no problem with that.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
Let's do that then.
I know that Corey and Jen being the previous owners, if you guys want to jump into the theft side of things first, or do you want us to talk about our side of things? It's up to you.
We can talk about it. I mean,
Okay.
Corey is so chill. He's just proper like laid back. I think if that chair wasn't there, he'd probably be lied down.
it only ruined my parents' anniversary.
Aw.
Honestly, we were out to dinner with my parents on their anniversary, and I get a voicemail from the booking agency that this house uses to do their events.
Okay.
And it was directed towards the owner. Not me, but it's calling my number. It leaves a voicemail, so she's the better person. She's like, we'll forward it to their email so they know they're trying to get a hold of it.
Okay.
And this is
Alright,
the
so
accusations of this is the accusations of stealing thing, right?
Yes.
Yep. So I've
Yep.
got the text messages ready. I can show those whenever.
Yep. And she sends it, 10 minutes later?
Yeah, not too much longer later, she sends us a group text. Now, granted, we haven't spoken to her for a few months.
I haven't talked to her since I quit.
And that's
February.
the first text in that folder.
The first text in the folder is her text to us accusing
Okay.
us
Here we go.
from her
I'm going to
beliefs.
show everybody this.
Right, let's have a
just
look.
So they can get. Again, I apologize for the colorful language this individual tends to use in every message she sends people. She says, "What the F have you done, Jennifer and Corey? How much money have you stolen from me? Why the F is blank leaving a voicemail for Corey regarding my effing email? And who's been messing with my account, including missing money? You have no effing idea what is about to happen to you." And of course, you guys, I see your response, Jen. Hold yourself. We did nothing. No idea why they called us. I assume it's because he was on the blank before, so his name was on that company thing. So, and they couldn't reach her. I mean, people had been calling Erin. You called her numerous times. I saw messages where you called, and you were never getting returns. I mean, she was never returning your messages.
Their voicemail indicated they were trying to get a hold of her. They were trying
Exactly.
to
Oh
So-
my
get
god.
was like a backup number,
This is
but-
wild.
But I really honestly have no idea.
Yep. And you said we have nothing to do, nor have we have any idea what you're accusing us of. We thought we'd be nice and forward you that to Kevin, and so forth. And let's see. And then, of course, her response: "You're lying, Jennifer. You and Corey were deactivated, and there was no reason why, after an email from me expressing concerns with someone messing with my account, that they would leave Corey a voicemail. I will find out everything." And hang on, let's go to the next one. The next wonderful message. So
This is crazy.
So
This is great though, because they're packing receipts and they're proving their points. This isn't like they're going on and saying, "Oh, this happened and this happened," without any proof. Like, they've actually got the physical proof. Like, this can't be refuted. This genuinely happened.
Nice.
well, yeah, I'm gonna screw it up, man. So don't get too impressed. So, all right. And here's the response: "You're lying, Jennifer. You were deactivated. Why, after an email expressing concerns with someone messing with my account, would they leave Corey a voicemail? I'll be finding out everything. And if you have siphoned money, you'll be paying it back. Your response, very political. Oh my God, you can't be serious. I have no idea why they called him. And you'll feel like an ass when you realize you accuse us for nothing. Well, we'll see. I'm missing money from deposits, whatever. They will have to answer why they called you about my question when you were deactivated in February. I expect an apology when you do, is your response, and if one's deserved, I will do it. So with this, was there ever anything more she contacted you about with this?
Corey's response was not colorful. And
Yeah.
if anybody wants to see it, then he has no problem. I'm sure her post about verbal abuse probably had something to do with that, because he does not respond well to
Threats.
Well, I think when somebody is accusing you of, first off, stealing, that's a tough one to just
Take.
accept and move on. So, I've known Corey a long time. You get heated when somebody's accusing you of something like this. If you'd like, I'll show it, Corey, but that's up to you. I don't.
Oh, by all means.
Okay. So,
Bros, I got nothing to hide. I'd say it again.
guys, there's some colorful language. There's some colorful language in here. But
I can't wait. Come on.
So I want to apologize for this.
I can't wait.
And I'm not defending Corey in this, but I am saying they were contacted accused of stealing, and you saw her messages to them, dropping F-bombs back and forth. Corey responded. Now,
Let's go.
people. So here we go. I love you, Corey, but here we go. All right. So.
Oh my God! The first line, Corey! Jesus! Oh my God!
Corey, I'm not even simple. Listen here, you dumb. You must be out of your goddamn mind accusing us of something like this. Your failure to take personal responsibility for your actions is what's to blame. Know what you're effing talking about and have all your ducks in a row. I'm about to put this conversation out on social media so the public can see how effing batshit crazy you are. You effed up with the wrong son of a bitch. Okay,
Though I disagree with the terminology, and I think that he could have handled that a lot better. I mean, like, a lot better. This sentiment is right. He's being accused of something when he believes that it was Jacqueline's mess up, but at the same time, Jesus, what a response.
I mean, it is what it is. You were accused of stealing. Of course you're going to be fuming. She's accusing you of taking money out of her accounts, but half the time she doesn't know what money's going into her accounts because she's not ever present.
Well, what really bothered me out of the whole situation is, like, if we were siphoning money out of your account, why would I use my personal information? Why would they be contacting me saying, oh yeah, by the way, it's like, use your head, and then
why would we forward it to you to let them know?
It's like, oh yeah. And then she goes on to tell us in a later text that it's happening to other paranormal locations, but she still didn't apologize.
Yeah,
and it's like, we have nothing to do with it.
Well, so what? Corey's stealing money from other paranormal locations that he's got nothing to do with as well? Like, come on, man. Like, play fair.
And here's her next response to you guys in return. You don't scare me, Corey. F off. Nah, F you, whatever. Someone is effing with my account, so I'm going to start with the phone numbers, and any questions are being channeled. I mean, it's such a weird rant, so I'm having a hard time reading this. That is your effing number they called. Why is that? Someone is also effing with our reservations, so that when people go to book, it says book through 2026, and money is being siphoned from the account. I will get to the bottom of it, and I'm going to start with the obvious clues, and if it leads to you, have nothing to do with it, it leads to you have whatever. But I'm going to find out who's doing this to me and why it's being done to it. So it's also being, so according to her, it's also being done to Eastern State Penitentiary.
And my biggest complaint of that whole thing was, do your research first. If you then think that we've actually stolen money from you, bring it up then. Do your research first. Don't jump on us out of nowhere because we were nice enough to forward information to you. Why?
Well, nice enough to, I mean, if you're siphoning money out of her account, why would you draw attention to it by forwarding? And,
Right.
hey, I'm just letting you know, we're sneaking money out, and I'm just letting you know money's being snuck out. So here you go.
Right.
But she claims that this is happening to numerous paranormal businesses. Now, I know a bunch of businesses. Jim, you do too. This is the first I've heard of this, so it seems to be a pretty isolated event. What do you think, Jim?
Well, I just have a couple questions because I'm not as familiar with what happened here as you are, Jay, and obviously everybody else on the panel knows. But was it ever determined whether there was actually money missing, or is that just her with crazy ideas?
I have no idea.
Like that
Nobody
second-
knows.
Nobody knows.
Apology, so I'm guessing either it's still being investigated or no idea.
Oh,
And
well, I
who-
mean, yeah,
I-
was it ever determined that money was actually missing? I mean, that's the thing. Nobody knows because
Right. So we don't even know if that's a legitimate claim at all, that
Right.
money actually disappeared. Secondly, I'm a little lost. Who called you to
The booking agency left a voicemail for me.
She must have
Okay.
been in touch with them by email. Not really sure. The context of the voicemail was
Right.
basically they were getting back to her regarding some of her concerns.
So she
had
contacted
been
them
in
about it.
contact with them and-
Okay, so she contacted them about money, something, and when they responded to you because they couldn't either
They
get a
couldn't
hold
get
of
a hold of
her.
her.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That's a common theme, not being able to get hold of Jacqueline.
And so
Well,
you did the right thing. You forwarded that to her so she could handle it, and because of that, she assumed that somehow you were involved in some kind of theft.
See what happens when you do
Wow.
the right thing?
Yeah, exactly.
so all right.
Can I speak on the admin side of that too?
Sure,
Oh, here we go.
Can you guys hear me okay?
we can.
I know we're having some
Aaron,
internet.
what was your position at your previous employer?
I started out doing caretaking for the Gamping last summer, and then took over for Jennifer as the admin in November towards December.
Mhm.
So I was involved with, booking questions, emails coming in, rescheduling people, any of that kind of thing. But we were very limited with the booking site that we had, with the access to things we had. So we couldn't change account numbers. You couldn't change where money was going to, which you couldn't even touch that side of the booking site at all. So there would have been no way to do that. One, because we didn't have access. And two, if you're refunding money to people on this particular site, you don't have the option to change the card or account that it's going into. It can only go back to where it came from.
Right.
So in my opinion, from the admin perspective, that negates that, because it wasn't possible for us to do that. There was no access whatsoever.
Well, and just like when you go to Walmart or anywhere else, if you buy something on a card and you're returning the item, they make you put that same card in because they're sending it right back to that. So you don't have access to transfer funds. You don't have access to withdraw money.
Right.
Yeah.
The
So-
cashier doesn't have access to put that money back in their own account. It just doesn't
So-
work that way.
And guys, we're not going to get into everything tonight because I mean, with the stuff I've got, we'd be going for 24 hours straight. I mean, it's
Wow.
ridiculous. But I'm gonna. Would you like me to show more text of these whole accusations?
We can move on. I mean,
Yeah.
it does go back and forth. And Corey will
Okay.
I'm going to move on to the Cody and Satori stuff, and then I might wrap the video up here because we're already at 53 minutes on this video. If you hung around this far, what do you think so far? If you think that Jacqueline Nunez is a really bad business owner, drop a like.
admit he's very uncolorful with his responses. So
Well, I mean, yeah, but yeah, and I agree. But the thing is, you get so heated when somebody's accusing you of something you didn't do, and they never apologize. They never say, "Hey, sorry, I messed up," or at least they come at you full bore. It's ridiculous. Like, there's no questions. There's no conversation. It's straight out vicious attacks, labeling you a thief. I mean, what do you do at that point? I mean, of course, you get fueled. You get heated. You're gonna say what the hell you say.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't blame you on that one, man. I would have used different language, but I don't blame you for the way you responded. I would have been pretty pissed. So, all right, so we just covered accusations of stealing, which again, we still have like 8 text messages in that, and I'm just gonna let it go for right now. All right.
Keep in mind that we haven't talked to our former employer in a while. Since we resigned, we really haven't had any interaction with this person at all. And Jen and Corey were the first individuals contacted, and then Satori and I were contacted as well. And these interactions led to us you know, making the resignation letter public, because we started hearing rumors that our former employer was telling individuals that we were fired, which wasn't true, obviously.
And then they came after we made a public statement to try to clear things up and just say all the respect, but we walked away. We don't want to get into it. And then, yes, it got worse from there. So we tried to kind of control it for our sake, and it, you know, I think it just kept going downhill no matter what we did.
Wow.
And you know, even to say that. So, and then for you guys to start getting messages with threats of claiming that you're frauds and you're this and that because you guys didn't want to go back to work there, which was ridiculous. And I'm not even going to get into the details of you guys pretty much being told you're going to go do this, whether you like it or not. I mean, so and you're going to do it for these people or whatever. But friend of mine, Joe Vitale, which is not a supporter of you two, and you guys know this, you know. But Joe's a friend of mine, Cody and Satori. Joe actually sent me a message just saying how him and the side-eye guy were at the house, and the side-eye guy straight up asked the caretakers and them if the knocking method that you guys have done, that's been in question by some, was real. And they blatantly said 100% it's real. You have to see it to believe it. And this was said in front of a bunch of people who are in search of the truth, no matter what that truth may be. And I think that's important, because then all of a sudden, and this is just a few months ago, then all of a sudden now it's threats of you guys, her telling the world that you guys are phony and fake. Because
at the same time, though, that would just come back to bite her in the arse, surely, because then if she says yes, they were fake, people would turn around and be like, but you allowed this to happen. You knew that this was the case, and you allowed us to spend our money to see these people do this when you knew it was fake. So surely, like, there's a bit of a double-edged sword there. Yes, it would discredit these two, but at the same time, it would discredit her and her business. So what an idiot.
Because you didn't want to go back to work there and work in this environment.
Yes. And again, I just want to start off by saying I'm in no way trying to tell anybody what to believe. If you believe us, that's totally fine. If you don't believe us, that's totally fine. I do not personally agree with the way some things were handled, with presenting a very biased opinion on the side of supporting us by some people. So I just want to make that aware as well. I think that you can't figure out answers if you don't question things and ask to see more and have skepticism. So that's just our belief.
Well, and I want to share pretty much a couple texts that were sent to you recently, Satori, that came out of the blue. I mean, you hadn't talked to her in a while. And
oh, okay.
You start getting hammered with text, and I want people to see this. So, you good with that?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Yes.
So, she hadn't talked in a while. The one with the talking with the "I will do that again, thank you." It's green eyes is about a cat that got lost, and we're not going to get into some of that sad stuff. But random text that comes. I have no idea what you're trying to achieve. Now, this was to my daughter, the owner of the Conjuring house, real professional lady, sending this to my daughter. I have no idea what you're trying to achieve, but I'm hearing crazy stories of the bullshit that you are saying about me. My blank and the spirits at the Conjuring house have been filling me in. So the spirits have been telling her that you've been saying things. That's what we're saying here, Tor?
Yes.
Can we talk about that for a second? Like, can we talk about how ridiculous that sounds? Like, regardless of whether you're a believer or a skeptic, whatever, if you were to, if she was to take, right, this to court, right, like she's been threatening to, and the judge is like, what proof do you have that Cody and Satori have been chatting shit behind your back? And she goes, well, Mr. Judge, you look like a very honourable man. It was the spirits. The spirits told me. The judge would be like, case dismissed, get out. Like, you're like, that will not hold up. That will not hold up.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I just wish they would give me complete sentences, because it would make my life so much friggin' easier trying to investigate this. But she's getting complete sentences. I mean, they're telling her claim. It's insane. You are just pissed that you got fired and that I will not pay you for the fact that you hired someone who burned down the barn Grow
Wow.
the F up and look. We'll get into that. Trust me. We'll get, grow up and look for new employment since you blew your employment at the Conjuring house. Much to your dismay, I am not going into the woods with whiskey and dowsing rods, nor did I ever say anything about anything to anyone about my blank whatever. That's none of your effing business. If you continue to try and ruin my reputation and my business, I will file lawsuits against you for slander. So, and that's just the first text message.
Yes.
And that came out of the blue. You're just like, Dad, I'm being thrown, dude, and I haven't said anything bad about this. I just left, and I didn't even know all the other things about that were going on. So because you've kind of kept that stuff on your own. So now let's get into this. This is good.
Do you want me to go into the barn explanation a little
Well,
bit?
let me show these messages first, though. So
Okay.
then she says, I have done nothing to warrant your lying hatred towards me. In fact, I'm the only person to try to give you a significant opportunity to grow as people and grow your business. I will make sure I include the investment I made for you with Barn in my post if you don't stop your reckless direction of trying to destroy me, because you will be the only ones to be destroyed. I will never be defeated or destroyed now or at any time in the effing future, so be it.
Well, that was a ringing tune from the Facebook post.
So these texts randomly came out of nowhere. There's no claim or no proof of you ever saying anything. I mean, you've never said anything bad about her. She literally showed up to my 4th of July party. You had her over. We never had a problem. And your response, of course, we have absolutely no clue what you're going on about. We are not fired. We resigned, which we showed that. You guys had resigned 2 months prior to her even making this post claiming that she fired you all. We resigned and was even kind enough to publicly stay respectful. Now you're coming up with us being fake just because you're mad we aren't doing readings whenever you wanted at your beckoning. We literally stopped doing readings for you at the house in September and October because you just wanted to use us. There's plenty of witnesses to that. We are and always have been. I hate that these things aren't all together. All right, hang on. Next part.
Right, I'm going to stop the whole stream there. Like I say, there is still over an hour and a half of this stream to go. If you want to check out the full thing, I highly suggest that you go over to Jason Hall's YouTube channel to check it out for yourselves. If you have got this far into the video, though, be sure to jump scare the hell out of that like button, subscribe if you're new, tickle my little bell to get notified whenever we upload. Jacqueline Nunes does not seem like a very nice person whatsoever. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think, and until next time, I'll spook you later. Peace.